up to a woman? Like, what's holding them back from that?
Because of feminism and Me Too and all that shit. And because women will fucking put men on blast who like maybe awkwardly approach them. You see also those gym TikTok videos where girls like work out in the gym and then there's like a guy who like glances at them for like 1 second and they fucking blast them. That's what guys are scared of. And these guys aren't even, they're not even doing anything wrong. They're just like innocently, sometimes they're not even looking in their direction. So there's like this social component now where like people are terrified to get like fucking exposed on social media.
That's an interesting point that he made there. You should have said, because the woman asked the question, why aren't men approaching women anymore? Now, back in my day, when I was younger, it was a numbers game. You had to approach as many women as you can because most women would reject you. And because most women would reject you on the most silliest things, and the reason why most women would reject you wasn't necessarily because they didn't find you attractive, was because of their own insecurity as to whether they could handle someone that was A, either attractive as you, B, the attention. Women have an issue when it comes to attention. They want you to, because they're insecure, they require validation and attention. But the problem is they want you to give it first so that they can then give it back. But oftentimes what happens is that, especially in this modern time, what I'm seeing is that they're getting a lot of attention from social media, you know, the internet, etc. like that. And because they're getting all that attention, it's too much. It's gone into their head. It's blown them up. It's made them delusional. Do you see what I'm saying? So men, I guess, in a response, because men are logical creatures, rational creatures, so in a response to the women's behavior to the dating sexual market and their newfound freedom and liberation and the consequences of that, i.e. the Me Too movement, i.e. this whole gym TikTok video, because I have seen those gym TikTok videos and I work out in the gym too, and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Sometimes when I'm resting, I'll stop and sit down and have a look around the gym because I want to see the people that's in the gym, who's working out, what they're doing, what their body type is, what kind of exercise they're holding down. So it's very asinine for the women to be making those kind of videos. And of course, that's not all women, those type of women. But again, what men are telling me is that this is a majority of women in the West. So you guys, correct me if I'm wrong. If the men aren't approaching the women, then the women need to be looking at what they're doing and what they're showing. And you see what I'm saying? In order to, why they're not attracting the male gaze. Because it's a woman's job to get a man's attention.
What's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well?
Okay, I did a street interview and I asked the guys, would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook? And most guys,
they want this.
Bullshit. What men are interested in life as a whole is status. If I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak, that's status. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say something?
I don't want to hear that shit.
That was an interesting video there from the infamous Andrew Tate, and I think that's Brittany Renner. Yeah, Brittany Renner. So basically, she was asked, what do men want? And she said that men want the gluck gluck, right? That's what she said. Now, again, this is a common misconception that women have. And because women did not have fathers in the household or mothers which had their best interest at heart when it comes to relationships and finding good men and getting married, these women have been taught only one side of men, right? So what women are doing is that they're conflating a man's sexual need, the need to have sex, for relationship, because that's how they view sex. Sex for them is in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Or that's how they frame it in order for them to be able to have it. So while women say, yeah, they can have meaningless sex or one night stands, whatever the case may be, that's not necessarily in their nature. However, it is in a male's nature to be what? Polyamorous or polygamous, right? So it's a very incorrect opinion when women have the notion that all men want is sex. Yes, sexual pleasure does go a very long way and is very important and is one of the most important, but not the most important component in a relationship when it comes with men. But because men lead with that first and foremost, women assume wrongly that that's all that men want. Yes, primarily that is all that men want, but it's your job to make the man want more than that, because sexually, that's all he sees on the outside, what you are. He doesn't know about your personality. He doesn't know about your spirituality. He doesn't know about any of those things because he cannot read your mind. He's not a mind reader.
Oh, have you heard of passport bros?
What is a passport bro?
Okay, passport bros are men that are so fed up with Western women because we're all apparently so woke and so terrible and Western women don't want to be wives that they are now going to other countries to find wives.
Wife material.
That's like which countries?
Southeast Asia, the Philippines, the Dominican Republic.
So it's like the opposite of the mail order bride.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
okay.
So a lot of these men get remote jobs. And so they go there and they live in these countries and then they meet these women. And then women in the Western world, specifically the United States, are so pissed off about it. And they're like, you're going to all these countries where these women don't even know how to speak English. They can't even read. They're so uneducated. And then the men like film themselves with these women and like show themselves on dates. And the women are so elegant and they're so well spoken and they're so traditional. And they're like, look at these women. Yeah, passport bros. Because Western women are so bad.
Did not know about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I'm here.
Gosh, I mean, what do you say to that, really? Passport bros is a new movement. Maybe in the United States it's a new movement, but passport bros has been a thing since I can remember. I remember in my 20s, you know, there was a few black men over here in the UK and who were going to Thailand and stuff back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Before all that ladyboy stuff that was taking place, you know. But if we're going to be frank, I'm going to be honest, Caucasian counterparts, you know what I'm saying, are the ones that have been, the male Caucasians have been the ones who've been doing the passport bro movement for the longest time because they've been getting women from Thailand, the Philippines, Latin America. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's not as popularized back then as it is now because of social media and the advent of social media. But these things have been happening for the longest time. But the reasons why this black men in particular, I'm assuming, or this round or this generation of men are now focusing on being passport bros and why it's now a thing is because obviously we live in a different societal structure now. It's more of a gynocentric structure. It's more of a feminist structure. And women are told that they're princess, sugar and spice and all things nice and that they're entitled. And this has brainwashed modern women into believing that men are just placed on earth to serve them. So with men talking about leaving and being passport bros, clearly that's something that's going to upset them. These women anyway. Real women, they're not really too fussed about that. All right? They're too busy being married and look after their children.
I can't imagine giving this man any amount of money that I work hard for.
Come on, man. Now, hold on. The kids are 8 and 5.
Right.
So you got to give it to him.
She was stripping.
I'm an exotic dancer.
She was stripping, Your Honor.
I'm an exotic
And that's
dancer.
how I met her. They was playing me in the club.
I'm an exotic dancer, but he didn't have that problem when we got together. And the years that we were together, he wasn't complaining then. But it's regarding my...
Do me a favor. You're making me dizzy, rocking back and forth. Yeah, just... Child support is set at $2,300. You're going to do a reimbursement to Medicaid for $276, making your monthly child support payment $2,576.
That's how much you got to pay.
No, that's how much you got to pay.
Realizing is that women, especially black women, are a special kind of stupid.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The children live with him.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions about that number?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, so let me get this right? So, because usually child support is paid from the man to the woman. That's usually how it goes because obviously we live in a very biased society where, and it's written biased laws in which it favors the woman in terms of getting child support and hurting the man financially, you know, using the child. So that's what it encourages in the West. It encourages the woman to use the child as cannon fodder, as a tool, as a leverage in which to hurt the man financially and to extract resources from him, which she later goes and spends, gets herself into debt and puts back into the system again, which makes the people who set up this system in the first place very rich and very wealthy. So it's just a numbers game. But I find it very interesting that she was sitting there laughing at the fact that it was 2005 and that she thought he had to pay it when really in respect, you're the one earning the money. So you have to pay it. You know what? It's really starting to boggle my mind, you know, how some of these women, especially those in America, are actually behaving because what they're showing or what I'm seeing from these videos, it's not looking good, ladies. It's not looking good. And what kind of education system do you lot have? It's like, what's going on? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like the hood, not even the hood. It's like the ghetto and ratchet that live in the hood are now what's on full display for the world to see. And that is meant to be the representation of so-called American black people. This is on full display for the world to see. And if Americans are meant to be, or black Americans are meant to be the bastion and the beacon of light of all things black and black culture and what we're meant to represent and uphold, then this is nonsensical. But let's keep going.